Welcome to the channel JV and CIV Made Simple. So this is our theory portion unit number 5 of ABFM, and today we are going to discuss directing. The chapter name is directing. This is an essential managerial function which is called directing. Sounds complex, but don't worry, by the end of this video you will understand it is the simplest way possible. So let's get started. So before diving into the chapter, let's see what are the topic which we have to study. So 5.0, first of all we will see the objective. Then we will see the introduction, we will see the characteristics of directing, importance of directing, elements of directing, leadership, motivation, communication, and finally we will end with supervision. So these are the 8 topics or 9 topics which we are going to study. So let's get started. So first of all, the question is what is the meaning of this so-called directing? What is the meaning of directing? You know that imagine a football team. You have players, but without a coach guiding them, motivating them and telling them what to do, the team would be all over the place, right? That is exactly what directing does in management. It is all about guiding, it is all about motivating, right? Guiding, motivating, counseling, right? And leading employee to achieve the organization goal, right? Leading toward organization goal. That is what directing is all about. Think of it as a GPS for your team. You can think of it like GPS for your team, right? So it shows them the right path, help them stay on track and ensure that they reach the destination successfully, right? Now let's talk about characteristics of directing. Let's make it simple. What are the characteristics of directing? Let's talk about. You know that first characteristics is the initiator of action. So manager don't just plan and organize things, they also lead from the front, right? So the manager don't just plan and organize things, rather they also lead from the front. Just like a captain in a cricket match, you know, captain in a cricket match. So just like a captain in a cricket match, the manager makes sure that a strategy is implemented and everyone is performing their role, right? So that is called initiator of action. Now the next point is that all encompassing function. It means that present at all the level, you know, whether it is the CEO, whether it is a CEO of a company or a team leader in a bank branch, every manager has to direct the team. It is not just for top management, every level has a role in guiding their staff. So that is called in all encompassing function. The third point is continuous process. So here is the key point, continuous process. What it means? Think about it. Does motivation stop after one pep talk? No. Directing is an ongoing process, just like coaching in a game. Manager constantly provide guidance, supervision and support to their team, and that is why it is called continuous process. So 3 characteristics we have already seen: initiator of action, then present at every level of the organization, and finally it is continuous. So these are the 3 key functions which I have just gone through. Let's see the fourth one. So the fourth one, you know, descending order of hierarchical structure, means it flow from top to the bottom. You know, it flows from top to the bottom. So here is the top and here is the bottom. So it flows downward. What it means? That direction always comes from the higher level of management and passes down to employee. Just like in military, where orders flow from general to soldier, in banking or any organization, manager guide their team from top down. So this is called top down approach. That is called descending order of hierarchical structure. Now the last thing is the human factor. You know what is human factor? Here is the most important part, that every employee is different. Some need motivation, some need clear instruction, and some need encouragement. A good manager understands this and handle each person in a way that brings out their best performance, and that is what we call as human factor, right? So friends, what we have learned, so that is the magic of directing. It is what turns a plan into action. Directing, you know, directing turns plan into action, right? And a vision into reality, right? If you find this helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more such easy explanation. Now let's come to the importance of directing. The next topic we have is the importance of directing. So friends, you know that we are diving into directing, the secret ingredient that keeps organization running smoothly. You might think leadership is all about being a born genius or having superstar charisma, but guess what? That is a myth. Let's break it down in the simplest way possible. So question is, why is directing important? That is what we are going to discuss now. So imagine a ship in the middle of an ocean without a captain. Imagine there is a ship in the middle of ocean without any captain. No clear direction, no proper communication, no leadership, just chaos. That is what happens when directing is missing in an organization, right? Leadership has been around for thousands of years. Think of great leader like kings, warriors and strategists. But management as a science, clearly written, thousands of years this leadership has remained, right? That is a 20th century invention. So this management as a science, this management science, it is 20th century invention, right? So while leadership and management go hand in hand, they are not the same, right? How they are not the same? Because leadership has been from earlier, from 20th thousands of years, but this management is a management science, this management as a science, that is 20th century invention. But that leadership and management go hand in hand, they are not the same. A leader inspire while a manager plan and control. So what is the difference between leadership and management? Let's try to uncover it. So what does leader do? Leader inspire, right? Leader inspire. But what does manager do? Manager plan and control, right? So manager plan and control, right? So that's the difference. Leader inspire, manager plan and control. But here is the shocker: you don't need to be born with leadership skill, you can learn them. Yes, that is the key point, that you don't need to bond with the leadership skill, you can learn them overall, right? So leader inspire, manager plan and control, that's the difference between leaders and manager. Now an organization without a strong management is like a football team without a coach. It may have great player, but without proper direction it is bound to fall, right? That is what I am telling you, that an organization without strong management is like a football team without a coach. Now let's talk about what are the key elements of directing, the 4 pillars. So for in directing there are 4 pillars. So let's uncover what are these 4 pillars. So the first pillar is called leadership. What is leadership? Leadership is an art of influencing people toward a goal. So you are influencing people toward goal, and this is what we call leadership. Think of it like team captain guiding player to victory. So this is called leadership. Already I told you. Then we have motivation. Motivation means what? People don't just work for salary, they need encouragement, right? So motivation in general we can say encouragement, right? So a motivated employee, it's just like a productive employee. The third reason is communication. These are third element. Have you ever played so see, communication means what? If the message is not clear, the entire team get confused. That is why proper communication is essential in management. And finally we have supervision. A manager must watch, guide, correct employee to ensure that everything runs smoothly, not just like a cricket coach analyzing every move. So that is called supervision. So leadership, motivation, communication and supervision, these are called the 4 pillars of directing. So I hope this make your concept clear. Now the next question is leadership. What make a great leader? Let's answer this question. What makes a great leader? Let's answer this question. A leader is not someone who just gives order. Leadership is about influencing people. So let me highlight it. This is about influencing people, right, and bringing out the best in them. So this is about influencing people and bringing out the best in them. So first thing, it is not a one-man show, right? Leadership is not a one-man show. It means what? A leader needs a team. Leadership is about teamwork. So here let me highlight it. So leadership simply means teamwork. It is not a one-man show, right? And personality and intelligence matters. So but it is not about being a genius. A great leader needs common sense, maturity and ability to handle people, right? So intelligence, maturity and ability to handle people, that is what it requires. Now there is something called situational control, right? What is the meaning of situational control? So leadership is not fixed. Sometimes you need to be strict, other time you need to be friendly. A good leader adapt to the situation. So whatever you can see, whatever the situation is, you have to adapt to that. That is called situational control, right? That is called situation control. And one more point is that shaping behavior. Leadership is all about, you can see group B here, you can see shaping behavior, here it is. So leadership is all about aligning people effort with the company goal. So people effort, on one side we have people effort, and on the other side we have company goal or company objective. So what we have to do through leadership, we have to align both of them, right? So leadership and directing are not about being born with magical skill. It is about learning how to manage people effectively. So I hope this makes sense to you, right? I hope this make you clear that what is leadership, what is the management, what is management science, when it emerged, okay, what are the attributes, what are the pillars of directing, that is what we have covered just now. And what are the traits of an effective leader, just now we have covered. Now let's move over to the importance of leadership, right? So friends, ever wondered why some company thrive while others struggle? The answer often lie in how well they are led. So let's decode this in the simplest way possible. So question is, why is leadership important? That is what we are going to answer now. Why is this leadership so important now? So this is, see, whenever we try to discuss something, try in the question answer format. This is the easiest way to remember the thing. You know, the first thing is that leadership brings action. You can see the first point is it begins action. Imagine a football match where the player are waiting for instruction but have no idea where to go. It will be chaos, right? You imagine a football match where players are waiting for instruction but they have no idea where to go. So that is exactly what happened in an organization without leadership. A leader initiates action by telling employee what to do, when to start, and how to proceed. So that is what we call begins action. Means you imagine a football match where players are waiting for instruction but have no idea. So that is exactly what happened in an organization without leadership. A leader initiates action by telling employee what to do, when to start, and how to proceed. So this is what we call begin action. Okay. The second point is that, you know, leaders connect the dots. You know, this is called connect the dots. So what it means, you know, think of leader like a conductor in an orchestra, making sure that all instruments play in harmony. And here instrument means department, right? Making sure that all department work in harmony. So leader guide, leader motivate, leader coordinate different teams. So you can see the key points here, that they guide, they motivate, they instruct, right? Guide, motivate, coordinate different team to ensure that company move in the right direction. So this is the second importance of leadership, that is called coordinate effort. The third, you know, the third is called leadership full motivation. Would you work harder if your boss recognized your effort and rewarded you? Of course. A great leader know how to keep employee engaged through incentive, praise, and career growth opportunity. Happy employee means productive employee. Clearly, the clear equation is, you know, happy employee, it means productive employee. Right, so it provides motivation, leadership full motivation. Would you work harder if your boss recognized your effort and rewarded you? Of course. So a great leader know how to keep employee engaged through incentive, praise, and career growth opportunity. So that is called provide motivation. So that is an importance of leadership. The next importance, you know, that leadership keep everything in balance. So that is called maintain equilibrium. You see this word written here, maintain equilibrium means leadership keep everything in balance. You know, imagine a car with 3 wheels moving at different speed. It won't go far. So for a leader ensures stability by maintaining order. So let me show you what are the key points here. The first thing leader do, maintaining order, right? Resolving conflict resolution is a key part. And the third, you know, creating a balanced work environment, right? So creating a balanced work environment, right, so that company run smoothly in the long run. That is why the leadership is called to have maintain equilibrium, maintain everything in balance. The fifth point, you know, is the adapt to the change, means change management. You know that change is a scary, whether it is new technology, new policies, market shift. Employee often resist the change. Employee always resist the change, you know it very well, right? So a good leader explain the why behind the change. A good leader explain the why there is a need to change. The good leader explain it, support employee and help them adapt easily. So that is one of the importance of leadership. Now the last point is, you know, leadership save time and resource. So key point are two things, it save time and resource. You know, ever seen two people doing the same task without realizing it? That is wasted effort. A leader clearly defines role and responsibility, ensuring that work is not duplicated and resources are not wasted. So that is called effective resources used. So leadership is not just about giving orders, it is about guiding, motivating, ensuring that everything run like a well-oiled machine. I hope this makes sense to you. Please hit the like button, right? So that is all the importance of leadership we have just talked now. Change management, equilibrium maintenance, then motivation, coordinated effort, begin action. These are the points. Now let's move over to the next slide that we have. So friends, leadership quality, that is the secret sauce behind successful manager. What makes a leader stand out? What quality do you need to be an effective leader? Let's break it down in the simplest way possible. So first question is, what makes a great leader, right? What make a great leader? Let's answer this question. That a leader must look and think like one. So the first point is outward look. Leader must look and think like one. Ever noticed how great leaders carry themselves? They have a strong presence, not just physically but mentally. Confidence and clarity in thought make people naturally follow them. So here's the key point, right? So they have a strong physical and mental presence, confidence in their thought, clarity in their thought. It makes people naturally follow them. So this is one of the key points, which is called outward look. The second point is, leaders have a vision. What is the meaning of vision? A good leader does not think about today, that they plan for the future. They anticipate challenges, they strategize solution, and always stay one step ahead. That is called vision and foresight. This is the quality of good leader. The third quality, intelligence and decision making ability or skills. What if a crisis hit your bank tomorrow? What will happen? Tell me, if crisis hit your bank tomorrow. A leader with sharp analytical skill and calm mindset will navigate through it like a pro. Smart decision separate great leader from the rest. So that is called intelligence. Now the next is the communication is the key. That a leader is like a bridge between management and an employee. So on one side we have management, on one side we have employee, and in between leadership act like a bridge. Leaders act like a bridge. So if they can't communicate clearly, things will collapse. A strong communication skill help in explaining policies, motivating employee, and building the trust. So that is the importance of that is what is a good quality of leadership, that he should be capable of communicating properly. And the next point is, a leader is fair and biased, right? So you can see, a leader is fair, a leader is unbiased. That no favoritism, no personal bias. A true leader make decision based on facts and logic. Imagine a manager who promotes someone just because they are a friend. Doesn't sound fair, right? Now, knowledge is power. The next point that emphasizes the importance or emphasizes the quality of leadership is the knowledge is power. Here you can see. Let me highlight. Yeah, here it is. Would you respect a boss who know nothing about your job? Of course not. A leader must understand what their team does and to guide them properly. And then we have leaders take responsibility, sense of responsibility. Great leader don't blame other when things go wrong. They take ownership. They solve problem and they encourage their team to do their best. And then we have self-confidence and willpower. If a leader does not believe in themselves, why should anyone else? So a strong willpower and confidence inspire team to push forward even in tough time. So these are the key traits which are available in the leaders. Now the next trait is humanist. The next trait, as you can see, is humanist. What is the meaning of humanist? That leaders take responsibility, we have seen. If leader does not believe in themselves, why should anyone else? Self-confidence. A leader care about the people. That is what we mean by humanist. They care about the people. Leadership is not about just target. It is about people, right? It is all about the people. It's not just about the target. It is all about the people. So a true leader understands employee concern, support their growth, and build a positive work culture. And lastly, we have something called compassion. So it is about empathy. If you talk about compassion, what I mean to say, it means empathy. Ever had a boss, right? Ever you had a boss who actually listened to your problem? That is real leadership, right? So compassionate leader create a strong team that stay motivated and loyal, right? So ever you had a boss who actually listened to your problem? So that is a real leadership, right? So being a leader is not about power. It is about vision, responsibility, and empathy, right? Which of these quality do you think is most important? Drop your answer in the comment below, right? Which of the thing? Whether it is compassion. We have talked about many features, right? We have talked about empathy, caring people, non-negotiable, taking responsibility, right? Knowledge is a power. Leader is fair and unbiased. Communication is the key. Intelligence and decision making. He should have vision. He must look and think like one. So these are the key traits which are available for leadership, right? So I hope this make your concept clear. Now here we have leadership model. The next point you can see is the leadership model. Let's talk about it. So friends, what is the meaning of leadership model? Ever wondered why some manager inspire and other fail? Why some manager inspire and other fail? It all boils down to the right leadership model. So let me talk about leadership model. So the question is, what are leadership model? You know, leadership is not a great guesswork. It is a science. Leadership is not a guesswork, it is a science. Great leadership is not just about instinct. You know, this great leadership is not just about instinct. It is not just about instinct. Rather, it is backed by proven theory. So there are proven theories to back leadership. And these models give manager a clear framework on how to handle team effectively, right? So the model which we are talking about, it gives manager a clear framework on how to handle team effectively. Now the first thing is that responding to the demands, right? So what our question is, what are the leadership model, right, that we are answering. So leader must address employee, means that imagine working under a boss who never listen to you. Frustrating, right? A good leadership model ensures that a manager understands the needs of employee while also fulfilling business goal, right? So responding to demands means imagine you are working under a boss who never listen to you. So good leadership model ensures that a manager understands the need of employee while also fulfilling business goal. Two things are there. They have to fulfill the business goal and they also have to look after the needs of employee. That is the point. Then we have something called behavioral guides. What is the meaning of this so-called behavioral guides? You know, behavior matter. Not every leader leads the same way. Some are strict, some are friendly, some let the team take charge. So leadership model help in identifying which leadership behavior work best in different situation. It's not like that the same model will work in every situation. No, in different context we have different leadership model. Then the next we have methodology and structure. You know, leadership has a structure. Think of it like a recipe. You know, recipe. So recipe just like a dish, just like a chef follow a step to make the perfect dish. Similarly, leadership model provide a structured way to manage people without confusion. And you know, there is something called one size does not fit all. Let me write down. One size does not fit all. You know that a leader can't follow just one fixed style. Some employee need motivation, some need a strict guideline, some need complete freedom. So leadership model help manager adapt based on the work environment and employee personality, right? So they adapt to the work style, they adapt to the personality of the individual. So this leadership model help manager adapt based on the work environment and employee personality. And you know, different model for different need. That is called broad class explanation. So you know that leadership is not black and white. Leadership is not black and white, right? Rather, it is a broad concept. That is why we have different leadership model, each suited for a specific situation, a specific industry and team dynamic. So what we learned that leadership is not just about being the boss. It is about understanding human behavior, structuring management practice, adapting to the situation. What kind of leadership style do you prefer? Strict or flexible? Drop your answer in the comment. Which type of leadership profile so now we know that what is the importance of leadership model, why it is needed, right? Because you know, it depends on the situation. So now let's talk about the different leadership model we have. So the first kind of leadership model you can see is authoritarian leadership. So friends, we are diving into two key leadership style. The first is called authoritarian, the second is called participative. Which one is better, which one suits you, and most importantly, which one will help you excel as a banking professional? Stay tuned because we are breaking it all down in the simplest way possible. Now let's talk about the authoritarian leadership. In simple word we can say the boss know best, right? The boss know best style. So first of all, what it means, this is my way this is the my way or the highway leadership style. So let me write down what it is, my way or highway. So this is leadership, such leadership style. You know, the boss make all the decision, gives order, expecting the team to follow without questioning. Now question is when it works the best. When it works the best. When it works. You know, when it works when quick decisions are needed, like in a crisis, right? Suppose you have to make the quick decision. Then like in a crisis, here it works. When the leader has expert knowledge, here you can see the key point. When the leader have expert knowledge, right, and the team lack experience. And the third point is that when employees need strict direction to get the job done, right? Here you can see required clear guidance or a strict direction to get the job done. So 3 points I have told you. When quick decision are needed, right? So when quick decision is needed, when the leader has expert knowledge and team lack experience, that means one leader is most knowledgeable. And the third point is that when employee need a strict direction to get the job done. So why it works? What are the advantages? What are the pros of it? You know, the first advantage is that the fast decision making, because you know that here no long debate, just quick action, right? So that is called fast decision making. That is the first point. This is the first point. Second point, you know, the second advantage is that clear chain of command, right? Clear command chain. It means that everyone know their role. The third thing is that less confusion, more result, means no repeating instruction. But there are some disadvantages also. What are the cons? What are the downside? Let's talk about it now. You know, the first downside is that employee feel disrespected. So this is the key point. Employee always feel disrespected, right? So no one likes being ordered around all the time. And the second thing is that no creativity. No creativity, that is what it is. No innovation, no creativity, because you know that innovation get lost when no one share ideas. And the third thing is, you know, high employee turnover. You can see employee turnover rate increases. What it means that if worker feel unimportant, so they leave the organization. So what we learned is that authoritarian leadership is great for emergency but can lead to unhappy employee in the long run. Now the second kind of leadership model we have in this is what we call as participative model. So now let's talk about this so-called participative model now. So friends, what it means here, the leader is more like a team captain. They ask for everyone ideas, they involve employee in decision making and value teamwork, right? So here is the key point. If we talk about partnership leadership, means this is called let's work together style. Let's work together style. In case of authoritarian leadership, what was the style? The style was like the boss know the best, and here the style is let's work together style. So here the leader value teamwork, right? They ask for everyone ideas, they involve employee in decision making. So now the question is when it works, when it works best, when this participative leadership style work best. So when creativity is needed. So let me talk about the main point. So whenever you need creativity, then this model work best, right? And second thing is that when employee are skilled and can contribute valuable insight. So whenever employee are skilled and contribute valuable insights, so this system work. And when teamwork is the priority, so when priority is teamwork, so also this leadership structure work, right? So 3 points I have told you. The first is that when creativity is needed, second point is told you that when employer is skilled, and third point is that when teamwork is the priority. So these are the conditions where it works. Now the second point is advantage. What are the pros of it? You know that it boosts motivation, it increases worker motivation, that employee feel valued and heard, right? Second point is that a stronger teamwork, means what, you know, that it encourages creativity, that means fresh idea keeps the organization growing. A stronger teamwork, you can see the third point written here. The third advantage of it is a strong teamwork, means build trust and cooperation, and finally high level of productivity. You know that a happy employee work harder. So these are the benefits, these are the advantages of having participative leadership. Now what are the disadvantages? Well, let's talk about the disadvantages of participative leadership. You know, slow decision making, right? The main disadvantage is that decision making process is slow, time consuming or slow, whatever you call it. So you know that too many opinion can delay action. And then you know the next is the risk of poor choices. You know that if employee lack knowledge, bad decision can happen. So that is called poor choice risk, always there. And sometimes you know there is a security issues also, security risk also. Too much information sharing can lead to leaks. If you share too much information, it can lead to leak. So participative leadership is great for innovation, but it can be inefficient if too many opinion slow the thing down. Because in the case of authoritarian, the decision was quite fast, but in this case, you know, you are taking opinion of all the people. That is why it's slow decision making. And sometimes the choices risk of poor choice can arise. If employee lack knowledge, bad decision can happen. Security risk is also there. So question is, which leadership style is the best? So the truth is that there is no one size fit all solution. Banking leader must adapt, right? So what is the main point? That banking leader must adapt their leadership style based on the situation. In a banking crisis, go authoritarian. If you need creative banking solution, go participative. So it's not like that one size fit all solution. Depending on the situation, you have to act. If you need, if it is emergency like situation, then this authoritarian model is work based. And suppose it is if you need creative banking solution, then go participative. Now here is a question for you: what type of leader would you prefer in your workplace? A strict boss or a team friendly leader? Drop your answer in the comment. Now the third model we have is called delegative leadership. Let's talk about the delegative leadership now. So friends, delegative leadership versus transactional leadership, two things we are talking about, right? Which one give employee more freedom, which one focus on a strict goal, and which one will help you become a better bank professional? Let's break it down in the simplest term. So now the style, in simple word we can say delegative, that the you handle style. This is called you handle style. So what it means, you know, this leadership style is all about trust. So the key word here is the trust, right? You know, the leader take a step back and allow team member to make decision on their own, and this is also called laissez-faire leadership. Laissez-faire leadership, you know, it is like saying you are skilled, so go ahead and do what is the best. You are skilled, go ahead and do what is the best. So the question is when it works. That means we are talking about, you know, it works when employee are experienced and know their work inside out. So you know, those employees who are experienced and know everything inside out, so this delegative leadership work. Second point, when innovation and creativity are needed. So whenever you need innovation, whenever you need creativity, then you can go for this delegative leadership. Third point is that when a relaxed and productive work atmosphere is preferred, you prefer a relaxed and productive work environment. So under these, if you require any three of these, experienced workforce, if your workforce is experienced, you can go for it. If you need innovation, you can go for it. If you need a relaxed and productive work environment, you can go for this so-called delegative leadership. Now let's talk about the pros. Let's talk about the advantage of this particular leadership. You know that the main advantage is that freedom to think and create. So here is the key point, that freedom to think and create. So employee have full control over their work, right? So that is the key point. Employee have full control over their work. Then we have encourage innovation, right? So innovation increment means what? Fresh ideas, creative solution. And then we have boost productivity, that is called productive work environment. Means what? Employee feel valued and take responsibility. These are the benefits of it. But you know, there are some disadvantages also. What kind of disadvantage? The first is that confusion about responsibility, that means command accountability, lack of clarity. Means what? Who is in charge, who is accountable? So this kind of disadvantage arises. And you know, the second kind of disadvantage is the struggle with the changes, right? You know that without clear leadership, adapting can be tough. So if you have a skilled and independent team, delegative leadership is great. But if employee need guidance, it might lead to confusion, right? If employee need guidance, it might lead to confusion, right? That is why these are the pros and cons of both this kind of leadership. Now then we have the next model, which we call transactional leadership. So if we talk about the style, we can say the give and take style. It means give and take a style. In the case of just now we are talking about delegative leadership. In the case of delegative leadership, what was the style? Style was you handle, but here the style is give and take. Let's understand. Transactional leadership is like a business deal. If you do this, you get that, right? That is why it is called business deal. It called business deal. You know, employee are rewarded for good performance and corrected for mistake. It's all about clear expectation and discipline, right? It's all about clear expectation and discipline. So when it works the best, it works best when clear goal and deadline are required. So let me write it down. Clear goal, clear deadline. So it works the best. Second point, when motivation through reward boosts performance, and when maintaining order and structure is a priority. So what are the pros? The pros is that it clear goals and deadline, right? So this is the pros, means that employee know exactly what to do. It boosts motivation, it enhances motivation. This means it rewards, because you know, in this case rewards are provided to them. In this case they are rewarded like incentive and admonition to achieve the goal. So this is reward as provided. So it means what? This reward drive performance. And you know, the workplace chaos, right? Chaos reduction. It means what? Clear command structure is there. That is why chaos get reduced, and easy to implement, simple for manager to track progress. So that is why it is called give and take. but there are cons also. These are the advantages of having a so-called transactional leadership, but there are something called disadvantage also. What kind of disadvantage? Let's discuss. So first thing is that no room for creativity. Like we know, in the case of authoritarian leadership, there was no creativity. So here also there is no creativity, right? So means employee follow rules, but new ideas are rare. The next is lack of emotional connection. No connection, no emotional connection is there. Means less focus on empathy or personal growth. So you can see lack of value in empathy. The third, the downside is more follower, fewer leader. So leader are few, follower are more. It means employee may not develop leadership skill. So transactional leadership is great for structure and discipline, but it may limit innovation. Now, which leadership style is best between these two? So the best leader know when to switch style. In banking, transactional leadership work for goal-oriented task. So whenever suppose you have a something called goal-oriented task, so this transactional leadership work the best, right? But while delegative leadership allow skilled employee to thrive. So suppose employee are quite skilled, so in that case employee are quite experienced, in that case delegative leadership it will thrive. So the secret is that the balance, right, the secret is the balance. This is the secret. Now tell me, which leadership style would you prefer, more freedom or more structure? When I talk about more freedom, that is the delegative part, and when I talk about more structure, that is our transactional type. Now let's uncover the next two type of leadership style we have. So the next kind of leadership style is transformational leadership style. So want to know why it is a game changer for bank and business? Let's break it down. So if we talk about this, if we talk about the style, so this is called the inspire and lead approach. Inspire and lead approach. Imagine working under a leader who does not just give order but actually inspire you, motivate you, and make you believe in a bigger vision. That's transformational leadership. These leaders set ambitious goals, empower their team to achieve them. They don't just talk the talk, right? They walk the walk. That is the key point. You can think of great leaders like Narayan Murthy, Infosys, Ratan Tata, or even Elon Musk. They inspire people to achieve greatness, not by forcing them, but by making them believe in a vision. Right? I've given you an example to make it more clear. Now the question is, why does this transformational leadership work? Why does it work? Let's uncover it. Why it works? It boosts employee morale, right? It boosts morale boosting. What it means? That employee feel valued, respected, motivated. So that is one point. Second point is that it reduce employee turnover, right? Turnover get reduced. What it means? That people stick around because they love the work environment. It gives you a strong vision for the future. Your vision is strong. It means the leader paint a clear picture of success and get everyone on board. Then we have, it is not a dictatorship. What it means? That unlike authoritarian leader, a transformational leader lead with respect and vision, not force. So bank and financial institution thrive under this leadership because employee work not just for money but for bigger purpose, customer satisfaction, innovation, and excellence. So these are the benefits of having transformational leadership. Morality increases, right? A strong emphasis. So these are the advantages we have just talked about now. Right now, but what are the disadvantages? What are the flip side? Let's look at the flip side also. Risk of manipulation, right? So there is a high chance of being manipulated. That some leader might fake inspiration just to control employee. Then the second point is constant encouragement is needed. So you can see clearly written that continuous encouragement is required. What it means? That employee rely on continuous motivation and feedback. But the flip side is that it is a slow process, right? Decision making is quite slow here, right? Because work may pause if employee don't fully agree with the leader value. So work may pause, and that confusion in rules and protocols. So too much focus on vision can sometimes lead to lack of clear rule. So while transformational leadership is powerful, it requires honesty, patience, and clear communication, right? So in the banking world, leaders who inspire their team can create a work culture focused on innovation, customer service, and long-term growth. Think of leader who brought digital banking to life or revolutionized financial inclusion in India. So now here is a question for you. Have you ever worked under a transformational leader, or do you want to become one? Drop a comment below. Now let's talk about the next part. So that is all about the leadership part. Now let's talk about the motivation part. Super important thing. So friends, uh, ever wondered why some people stay super focused while others struggle to even start? Let's break it down in the simplest way possible. The first question is, what is motivation? The driving force behind action. Ever feel that inner push to achieve something? That is motivation. The word itself comes from the Latin word so-called motive. This word is derived from motive. Motive means necessity, a drive or an urge to do something. In simple word, motivation is what makes you take action. It is why you wake up early for work, why you study for CIIB, and why business strive for success. Right? That is called motivation. Now, the psychology of motivation. Why do we do what we do? That let's discuss. Let's discuss the psychology of motivation. Why we do what we do. Right, every action we take, whether preparing for an exam, setting career goal, or even exercising, is influenced by psychological factor. Right, our mind pushes us to do things based on what we need and desire. But here is the tricky part. We can't see motivation directly. You may see someone working on late night, but you don't always know what is driving them. Is it money? Is it passion? Is it recognition? That is why motivation is so fascinating. Right, that is why it is called so fascinating. Now let's talk about the type of motivation, the main part of discussion here. What really drives us? There are two main types of motivation. The first is called extrinsic, second is called intrinsic. So let's break down with a real world example. So first of all, let's talk about the extrinsic motivation. So what extrinsic motivation is all about, let's talk about it. That when you do something because of external reward like money, praise, recognition, so you need money, you need praise, you need recognition, and you do things because of these kind of rewards. So that is called extrinsic motivation. Imagine your bank offer a big incentive for hitting a sales target. That motivate you to work harder, right? That is called extrinsic motivation. The same goes for getting a trophy, promotion, or even social recognition, right? So that is called extrinsic motivation. But here is the catch. The catch is that studies show that too many external reward can reduce a personal internal interest, right? So here you can see that results in but inside research shows that extrinsic reward can lead to our justification. Means what? Study shows that if there are too many external reward, it can reduce a personal internal interest. So if reward increases, then what happen? Internal interest decreases, right? So researcher found that children who were always rewarded for drawings stopped enjoying it over the time. You can see children who were always rewarded for drawing stop doing it after a time. So what is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is that external reward are great, but they should not replace genuine interest. Right, it's not that you are just giving reward and because if you give more reward, internal interest decreases. Right, now that is called extrinsic motivation, the one part of the motivation we have just talked about. There is second part also, which we call as intrinsic motivation. So when you do something because you genuinely enjoy it or find it meaningful. So ever meet someone who love their job even if they don't get a huge paycheck, or a student who studies just because they love learning? That is called intrinsic motivation. It comes from within. For CIB aspirant like you, if you genuinely enjoy banking and financial concept, you will stay motivated even without external reward. So banking professionals need motivation every day, whether it is meeting target, helping customer, or advancing in their career. Motivation keeps them going. The key is finding the right balance between external and the internal motivation. Now here is a challenge for you. Tell me in the comment what keep you motivated to prepare for CIIB. Extrinsic reward like promotion, or is it your passion for banking? Let's discuss it now. Now let's talk about the intrinsic motivation and the use of motivation. That is the point which we are going to discuss. So friends, let's talk about intrinsic motivation. We are diving deep into a topic that can truly change the way you approach your study, your career, and even your life. That is motivation. What is intrinsic motivation? Have you ever done something just because you love doing it? No reward, no pressure, no external push, just pure enjoyment? That is called intrinsic motivation. Unlike extrinsic motivation, which is about reward like money, promotion, or recognition, intrinsic motivation is when you do something purely for personal satisfaction. For example, imagine solving a super tricky puzzle, right? Suppose you are solving just wait a minute. So suppose you are solving a super tricky puzzle, right? You are solving a super tricky puzzle, right? So this is called intrinsic motivation, but simply because you love the challenge. Why you are solving it? Because you love this challenge. That is why you are solving it. So this is called intrinsic motivation. So the question is, why is intrinsic motivation so useful? What are the uses of this intrinsic motivation? So think about it. If you study for CIIB only for promotion or salary hike, what happens when those rewards are not immediately visible? You might lose motivation. But if you truly enjoy learning banking concept, no external factor can stop you. That is why successful professionals love what they do. They don't just work for money, they find real joy in their field. And that is what we call intrinsic motivation, right? If you only think about money, if you only think about promotion, if you only think about salary hike, what happens when those rewards are not immediately visible? You might lose motivation. But if you truly enjoy learning banking concept, no external factor can stop you. That is why successful professionals love what they do. They don't just work for money, they find real joy in their field. Now let's talk about what is the use of motivation. So how does this motivation shape our life, right? Let's talk about the uses of motivation now. Here the point, use of this motivation. It helps you understand work approach. The first point is that it helps you understand the work approach. So ever wondered why some people work smart while others struggle? Motivation helps us find the best way to approach tasks, making work easier and more effective. Second point is that it increases the productivity toward goals. What it means? That want to hit your CIB study target, a strong motivation, whether internal or external, keep you consistent and focused. The third thing is that it encourages beneficial action. Means motivation does not just help in studies or work. It also pushes us toward good habits like exercising, eating healthy, and staying disciplined. Then the next point is that it keeps you away from harmful behavior. Right, that it keeps guide away from harmful behavior. Ever notice how a motivated person is less likely to waste time on distraction? When your mind is focused on a goal, negative habits naturally fade away. And also it gives you a sense of mastery over life. Ever feel stuck in life? Motivation help you take charge, whether it is signing up for a new course, changing careers, or setting personal milestone. And the last point is it enhances overall happiness and satisfaction. The more motivated you are, the more fulfilled you are. Achieving goals, learning new things, seeing progress, it all adds up to the great happiness. Now, what are the impact of motivation? So how does motivation impact us? Right? How exactly does motivation impact us? Here is what happens when you are truly motivated. The first point is the conformational changes. So here you can see the key point written here. This is so called conformational change. So what it means, the conformational change? So decision making power. You take action instead of just thinking about it, right? You take action. The second is a perseverance. What it means? That you keep going despite obstacle, whether it is tough exam or career challenge, you keep going. And the last is intensity. That means in enthusiasm. You give 100% effort to what you truly care about. So here is my question for you. What truly motivates you to prepare for CIIB? Is it promotion, personal growth, or passion for banking? Drop your thought in the comment. Now then we have some important models related to the motivation, some theories of motivation. So let's start with the first theory, which is called Adler-Erg theory of motivation, right? So first thing is that ever wondered why some people are happy with a stable job while others constantly seek growth and challenges? Well, Clayton Alderfer, he explained this beautiful through his Erg theory, breaking motivation into three simple categories, right? So there are three categories which is called Erg theory. Now the first is called existence need. What is the meaning of existence need? Existence need means what? Think of this as a foundation. This is the basic for survival. This is the basics for survival, that is called existence. Think of this as a foundation. Just like Maslow's basic need, this includes salary, job security, right? Salary, job security, and even mental peace. Without this, no one can focus on bigger thing. So that is called existence. Means physical and mental well-being, right? Means again I am repeating. So you can think of this existence as the foundation, right? It means just like Maslow's basic need, this includes salary, job security, and even mental peace. The second R stands for relatedness. Relatedness means what? Like the need to connect. So here let me write down the key point. This means we have to connect it, right? So correct means what? Human are not robot. We need good relationship with colleague, robots, superior, and even client to feel valued and respected. A toxic work environment can kill motivation. So this is called relatedness. And the G stand for growth. What is the meaning of growth? You know, that the desire to learn and achieve. Ever feel stuck in a job with no learning opportunity? That is where growth needs kicks in. We all want to develop a skill, take on challenges, and reach our full potential. The catch is that unlike Maslow hierarchy where you move step by step, ARG theory say you can move back and forth. If growth opportunities shrink, you focus on relationship or survival. Right. The Hertzberg theory of motivation. So Hertzberg two-factor theory. Ever notice how some jobs feel fulfilling while others don't? Right. So you know, some job feel fulfilling while some job does not fulfilling. So that is what Hertzberg theory is all about. Hertzberg cracked the code by dividing workplace factor into two categories, right? So the first is called motivational factor. So what makes you love your job, that is called motivational factor, as you can see it clearly written here. So the first point is that these are the factors that pushed you to excel, that is enjoy your work and feel satisfied. So the first factor you can see is the sense of accomplishment, which means that ever finish a tough project and feel proud. So that is motivation. The second is called recognition. Recognition means what? Recognition means getting a well done, right, from your boss or team boost confidence. The third is the nature of the task. So that is challenging task. So repetitive work is not boring. Exciting challenge keep us engaged. And then we have something called responsibility. You know responsibility, when trusted with important work we feel empowered. And then we have promotion. So promotion and growth, this is another aspect. So climbing the career ladder keep us motivated to perform better. So when these factors are present, people love their job, like sense of accomplishment, recognition, nature of the task, responsibility, promotion, growth. Now the second, so these are the first factor, that is motivational theory of motivational factor. Now we have the second factor that we call hygiene factor, right? So let's talk about the hygiene factor now. So what is the meaning of hygiene factor? So what stop you from hating your job? That is called hygiene factor, right? Motivation factor means what truly motivate you, right? What makes you love your job, that is called motivating factor. So what make you love your job, like recognition, sense of accomplishment, nature of the task, responsibility, promotion and growth. But what avoid you hating your job, what stop you from hating your job? Now here is the twist. Some factor don't exactly motivate you, but their absence can make you hate your job, like company policy. So frustration. So if the company policy is bad, it will cause frustration. Also toxic boss and colleague, so it will cause stress. Then we have poor working condition, this will cause discomfort. Low salary or no job security, this will cause anxiety. So think of hygiene factor like cleanliness in a restaurant. You don't go there because it is clean, but if it is dirty you will never return. So if you ever feel demotivated, ask yourself, is it because of missing motivational factor, or is it bad hygiene factor pulling you down? So what do you think? Which factor plays a bigger role in your motivation? Share your thought in the comment. Is it hygiene factor or is it motivational factor? So that is all about this Hertzberg theory. Now let's discuss some other important theories of motivation. So the first theory is Porter and Lawyer theory. So let's talk about this particular theory. Before going to that, let's understand the McClelland-Neat motivation theory, right? So before diving into the Porter theory, let's discuss the McClelland-Neat theory of motivation. So you know what are the key points under it? The first key point is that it was proposed by David McClelland, an American psychologist, and also known as 3-need theory or learned need theory. Both means the same. So it says that individual unique needs are developed over their lifetime. So whatever unique need of individual are there, it is developed over their lifetime. And according to this theory, there are three fundamental needs. The first need is the need for power. What is the meaning of power? Power means the capacity to inspire or influence other behavior. So a strong desire for leadership role to gain authority, right? That is called need for power, like vocal, assertive, demanding. These are the characteristics, practical, realistic. Then we have the second need, which is called need for affiliation, which means pleasure from being loved and accepted by the peers. So suppose your friend, right, your friend, your peers love you, accept you, and there is a pleasure you get from all these things. So this pleasure is also kind of motivation, and which we call as a need for affiliation. Now, and then we have under need for affiliation one thing more come, which is called tendency for to avoid rejection. You can see written here, tendency to avoid rejection. And lastly, we have enjoy maintaining pleasant social ties and offering assistance. So this is also these are the need for affiliation. Then we have something called need for achievement, means high achiever take moderate calculated risk, right? So if they seek immediate feedback to gauge progress, they commit wholeheartedly to objective until accomplished with excellence. So according to the McLean need theory, a person's degree of efficacy and motivation is highly influenced by these fundamental needs. As a result, the theory proposed that these needs play a significant role. Now let's discuss other theory of motivation. And in the first other theory of motivation, we can easily see it is none but Porter and Lawyer motivational theory. So imagine you work hard, deliver amazing result, but don't get rewarded. Would you stay motivated? No. Right, that is exactly what Porter and Lawyer explain. So what does they say? They say that performance is will give reward, and reward will give satisfaction. So once you perform better, you will be rewarded, and reward will give you satisfaction. The idea is simple: if you perform well, you will get rewarded, and if the reward are meaningful, you will satisfied. But here is the twist: satisfaction alone does not drive performance. If the reward are not effective, employee might get complacent. So for organization to keep motivation high, they need to make sure rewards are fair and valuable. It should not be effective. It should be effective, right? So tell me, what kind of reward keep you motivated? Let me know in the comment. So that is the point. Reward will keep you your motivation high, right? So if you perform well, obviously you will get rewarded, and being rewarded will help you satisfied. But all reward, if reward is not effective, then it will not cause satisfaction. This is also important. Then we have the next theory that we call as equity theory. So now we have just discussed the Porter and Lawyer theory of motivation. Now tell me, what is the meaning of equity theory? So ever felt like you work harder than a colleague, but they get paid more? Ever have you felt that suppose you and your colleague and you work harder than him, then but instead of working harder, they get promoted or they get more amount, right? So they get paid more. So they means this is quite frustrating, right? That is exactly what John Adams explained through his equity theory. So here you can see the name John Adams. Fine. So what people do, people compare their input, that is effort, skill and time, with their output, that is salary, recognition and promotion. So if they feel that balance is unfair, so they either demand fairness or reduce their effort. So think of it like splitting a restaurant bill with friend. If you order a salad but pay the same amount as someone who has a steak, so then you will feel it unfair. So same logic apply at the work. So do you think that your workplace treat you fairly? Share your thought below. Then we have the next important theory, which is called Verum expectancy model. So these are the two important things regarding the equity theory. What about the Verum expectancy theory model? So now let's talk about one of the most logical motivation theory, which is called Verum expectancy theory. It says that motivation is not just about reward, but also about belief. So here you will see the importance of belief. Here is belief, right? So there are three components of it. So the first is called expectancy, right? Verum expectancy model we call it. The first is called expectancy. Expectancy means can I achieve it? So when I say expectancy, what I mean to say, asking a question that can I achieve it? So you must remember that if you don't believe that working harder will get result, you won't be motivated. The second is called instrumentality. What is the meaning of instrumentality? It means will I be rewarded? If you think that your company won't recognize your effort, why would you even try? Then the third is called valence. So expectancy means can I achieve it? If you don't believe that working harder will get result, you won't be motivated. Second thing is instrumentality. Will I be rewarded? If you think that your company won't recognize your effort, why would you even try? And the third is called valence. Right. So what is the meaning of valence? So when I say valence means do I even want the reward? So valence means asking the question, do I even want the reward? So not everyone value money. Some want promotion, learning or even work-life balance. So the formula is quite simple, that motivation is a product of these three things. That means this expectancy multiplied by instrumentality multiplied by valence. If everyone is missing, if even one is missing, motivation drop. So that's a wrap on motivation theory. I hope this make your concept clear. Now we will discuss the next theory in the upcoming lecture. I think we are left with the leaders and organization. What does it mean? Okay, one more thing before wrapping the session. Let's talk about this. What does the motivation for leaders and organization? Ever worked at a place? Have you ever worked at a place where you gave your best but no one appreciated your effort? It is frustrating, right? That is why motivation is not just about individual. It is a big responsibility for leader and organization. Like you can see the first point written here clearly, that it provides the desired reward.